What is this? This Bash asked some other Bash about aliens, about Bashhood. Let's take a listen.
on on alien life, on life outside of this planet. Is this
I
something you think about?
yeah, I think
Oh
that
yeah, I mean, I. Obviously, look at his shirt. Look, look. What is this? Some alien, some blockhead robot alien thing. Who knows? It's a humanoid. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah. Let's continue.
must be, even
Must
in the
be. Must be because of probability and this and smash and smash and smash and smash and smash. Yet, what is the probability that everything is just so fine tuned and in the even in the Bash image you worship, it's just so perfect. We're just at the right distance from this and that, and who knew? And the moon is through 300 or 400. Who smashes smaller? Who gives a bash and this and that, and farther away and this and that. Wow, it just all fits together. Wow, who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Apparently, this thing right there, smiling back at you, knows. Apparently, that right there knows.
solar system, I would not be surprised if we find microbes on Mars or
Oh,
some.
microbes. Okay, 20 years ago, they were relentlessly smashing about that. Oh, who knew? Who knew they found some bacteria looking thing? Who knew? Who knew? Oh no, it's just smashed. It's just smashed. Right, what's going on? Oh, it's just wow. Samples and dust and analysis and this and that. Wow, the dust, relentless of other dust. So it's just doing what we do here, but just fantasizing about doing it somewhere else, defiling in the abyss. Wow, who knew? Wow, we could reach the stars or control remote in it because you're a remote agent, right? You're a free agent, right? Oh, but I'm also the medium because I'm the message. Oh, smashed. What is going on? This sorcerer obviously is oh, who knew that? Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? And of course, the worship is relentless, and he has place in a priesthood. Who knew? But oh no, you scoff at that. It couldn't be. Yet, who knew? It has smash multiple names and smash multiple faces. It's Legion. Who knew?
the moons of Jupiter or Saturn where there's liquid water.
Like Europa.
Yeah, and the reason is that if you think about the reason I think that, and it's a guess, is because if you look at the history of life
Oh,
on Earth,
and the guy says, "Oh, like Europa, right?" Because this is all just information we received. Oh, we found this. Whoa.
then so Earth formed, and it was just there was no life. It was a ball of rock,
It's
and
a ball of rock. It didn't involve like Earth. It's just a ball of rock. What's going on?
almost as soon as it cooled down, we see evidence of life. So certainly 3.8 billion years ago, possibly even further back than that,
For the back.
we see evidence of life on Earth. So somewhere along the line, geochemistry, active geochemistry, became biochemistry on Earth.
Geochemistry. Active geochemistry became biochemistry. Meaning just structures and smashing and this and this and just geometry and this and this. Right? So how does geometry go into flesh? In the sense of what are you saying? Because geometry would just be like this the skeleton and the flesh and all this, but then what? Somehow it's just all that's just it's just the missing link, another shank. What is that? What is that even? What are you even saying?
And we have some idea, that if you get gradients of temperature and acid and alkaline and the conditions that are naturally present on the surface of oceans, then complex carbon chemistry spontaneously happens. So
Oh, complex carbon, it spontaneously happens. Right, because we say, oh, well, the proof is us, the living, and we can just believe the smash that says, oh, it was built, made, it was just made itself and just smashed geometrically and smashing, and then became biogenic. Oh, it became biological. Oh, ooh, it came, what? What is going on? The active geochemistry became biochemistry. Wow. Just, just, yeah, just believe in that lie. Wow, relentlessly.
we know that life, almost certainly we know that life began on Earth. I mean, the other option is it came.
Oh, we know, obviously the other one, it means that it came from outside. Wow, smash. All these shanks everywhere. It's just uncertainty. It could be this, but we definitely believe in something, but we're not quite sure what it is. But we definitely believe in something, and we call it science. No, it's worship of the light. Just do as thou wilt. And as long as you're a good light worshiper, you won't have to go face the light worship justice, which ultimately just defileth, make an example of you, extortion you, humiliate you publicly or this or that, and ultimately just steal from you everything you think you have, meaning your coin and your possessions. And now you're, I have nothing. I'm nothing. Oh, who knew? Smashed. But it's all it's just the philosophy of, yeah, it's just bashwood. The philosophy of nature. Oh, smashed. You don't need a philosophy for nature. Wow, what smash? What is nature anyway? Oh, it's what you see in the life, the biology. Smashed. Smashed. Smashed into just dichotomy of just monocots and dicots and triplots and just your geometric just exploded and imploded relentlessly in and out because that's what you are, right? You believe, oh, it's all light. Yeah, it's smashed. Smasheth.
From space or something like that, but it probably didn't. Right, it probably began on Earth.
See, you probably, he's just so soft spoken and this and that. He's just a nerd, right? Wow. What does this person do with all of their energy that they relentlessly believe they are? What do they do with all of it? Are they just some regular ass person that just goes and goes and gets in his car and then goes home? What is going on?
So that means that at least here, that happened. And that we know that the conditions that led to the origin of life on Earth were present on Mars 4 billion years ago. We know that they're present on Europa today. So
we know these two places, definitely, we know.
So I don't see that there's anything special. Life is just chemistry.
Oh, he couldn't wait! He couldn't wait! He said, oh, it doesn't even matter, Abash, because life is really just chemistry. Yeah, he believes that he's hamburger meat just slapped on him somehow, just holding it itself all together relentlessly through the laws of physics and this and the other. Oh yes, because all his cells are just abiding by it for some reason, somehow. And that's how it all came together, just by accident, relentlessly over billions and millions and billions and millions and billions and plays blastwood of Harry Potter numbers in his mind that bash him into a splinter of 1,000 points of light, which he worships relentlessly every day, in and out, defilement. So what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Again, this thing knows. But it won't tell us because you guessed it. It's just fantasy, but it knows. It knows, like it, who defileth and just relentlessly stealeth. And you're given false promise of how to defeat it, and this and this and that smashed. The only refuge, the only protection against the defilement of the savage ways of the world perpetuated by man is the truth. Who knew? Who knew? No, it has to be this. It's the poverty and this and the wage gap and oh, we're just all just 33rd degree victims. Yes, you're all just smashed by the light. Smashed. No clue what the life, the truth, and the way are. No notion. Just it's your way relentlessly forever and ever. Yes. You worship death. You worship the light. All the while thinking it's love and oh, love and light. Smashed. Smashed. Who knew that's why the sufferings of the world are relentlessly obvious when there is a either you quoted tragic or just unfortunate or just, unpleasant passing of someone you know. And then relentless crying and just relentless 12 steps to get over and all this bashhood. It's training. Ritual. It's ritual. And who knew there's like, oh, yes, there's relentless books about it and smash. No. Why? What did that person live with? Exactly. Everyone lives to die in their bashhood. They don't live to live because, you guessed it, wow, who knew life is everlasting? Yet in your self-awareness, you believe it to be, oh, I die, and it's all over, so I must just defile relentlessly and get my fill and just play nice and just shapeshift and do this and get bigger, 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 yes! Smashed. All in your image, for the image of some fantasy, because you guessed it, you're thieving life. You're thieving life in your own smash image, not wow. You're the mouse. You're the mouse relentlessly avoiding what you say that it's the dinosaur. Oh, no. It's Mickey Mouse. You're Mickey Mouse. You're the magician just making images happen just according to the rituals of what you bash people into behaving. Wow, who knew? Who knew? Meaning living, because behavior is living. Wow, how can there be a behavior without the living? Wow, who knew? Smashed. So any sort of it's just relentless. Oh, your mind is so malleable, and you can refire all your synapses just by doing this ritual and this and that and this and this and smash. Carving out your brain in the sense of just smashing it. Just to obliviate your notion, just to boast you and swell you up. Swell you so big that you won't even know what happened. You won't even know. You won't. That is the boasting ways, yes, of the arrogance of the image of man that man relentlessly pursues. Yes, we must act now. We have to you create some sort of union and harmony and peace and relentless distribution. Smashed. What is going on? Does man live or just endure relentlessly hiding and quote unquote surviving? No, smashed. And there's no such thing as thriving. Oh yes, don't survive, thrive. Smashed. Who knew there's things called seasons? Wow, who knew? Who knew there's day and night? Who knew? Do you know it? What do you know? There's only one knowing. Yes, the certainty of life everlasting. Do you see the truth? The purpose. Yes, the love of the Father, which is You guessed it. Something you relentlessly say you're void of, and somehow you're alone here, and it's just biochemistry. Oh, it's just chemistry. Life is just chemistry. Oh, I'm so alone. Oh, I just need somebody to just tell me how awesome I am and relentlessly friction me. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Smashed.
And the idea that geochemistry becomes biochemistry is not fanciful because it happened here. So I think
Oh, it's not fanciful because it happened here. Of course. The only control that ever was. There's no other Earth that we can go and say, okay, let's study relentlessly this thing as we say we've relentlessly studied this thing. So it's all just going on some bash one Earth. Of course. Who knew? Who knew life is Earth? Meaning, wow, heaven and Earth. Wow, you were created in the Creator's image. Who knew? Who knew? It's not your bash image to live and defile. What are you saying? It's not your first person shooter just going around smashing. What? Wow, what greatness will you accomplish other than just bashhood? Exactly. None. There's no such thing as world peace and doing as thou wilt. Wow, who knew? Who knew there's a way, a ritual, a behavior, a life which does not defile? So who stands in the refuge of truth, and who goes along and gets defileth, all saying, oh yeah, I believe in my truth, and who knows about their truth, but I'll just tolerate and respect them and just smash and see them and say hi and move on and hope that just nothing happens because no guns, nobody will hurt anybody. Smashed. Smash, smash, oh, relentlessly smash into the pavement and just ground up like hamburger and just left in the sun to dry, just relentlessly, and then scraped up the next day and put into patties again and then served. Served at a high price because, yes, you guessed it. Who knew? Who knew they can shapeshift? Who knew the light can shapeshift? Wow, who knew you worship the light and the shapeshifting aspect of it? Wow, who knew? Because you relentlessly are trying to create your image of what life is when you relentlessly thieve away from it. Saying, well, it's just chemistry, so it could have been seeded or just started here on Earth. Who knows? Who gives a bash? It could have been just, who knows? It could have been some other Harry Potter formula and we would have called it something else. Smashed.
that given the same conditions, it would be surprising to me if the same thing didn't happen in that life begins. So
Just this condition, this and smash. What are you? Oh, just relentless.
I that's one of the, to test that is one of the great frontiers of science now. It's one of the great challenges, which is why another reason we're interested in Mars, because we know those conditions were there. We know there were what's called hydrothermal vent systems on the floors of oceans on Mars 3.8 or 4 billion years ago. So it would be good to know if what I've said is right.
See, now it's because they need the proof. They need the evidence. Because who knew? Nobody would say, if somebody said, oh, this is the aliens and this and that, and they come and they go and they go. But then they couldn't fly they couldn't fly anyone out and then come back and there's, no, it's just they will come and then everybody just around say, what's going on? What is this? And then all of a sudden it would just be but no, they have to just create some bash image of them going there and then somehow testing and proving that all the theories that man constructed are right. And they reveal us something more. Oh, they revealed the key. Oh, some key. Some key that's like, oh. And you guessed it, defilement. Who knew? Or at least that's the fantasy of this thing again. Again, this thing always knows, but it doesn't speaketh.
And the way we find out is to find life or evidence of past life.
Are you aware of the speculation? That was going around?
To find
How-
life or past life, right? Just like fossils. If we find some fossil, then we'll know it's exactly like Earth. Oh, smashed! What is going on? What is going on?
how recent was it, that Occupy thing, octopus eggs? There was a group of scientists that were speculating.
Oh, he said the Occupy thing, the Occupy thing. Right. Who knew that in his slip? It's like, well, remember that time where we deceived and we provided a counterfeit outlet, released a pressure valve because, wow, I mean, we didn't want to give people too much hope. No, no, no. It had to be devastated and just moved on and just carry forward. All while just moving forward, the agenda always completed the ritual and fed off of it. Meaning, yes, keep stealing and abusing. Wow, who knew? Who knew? Who knew?
That it's panspermia, the idea of panspermia.
Oh,
that
he
it's
couldn't wait.
possible that octopi had come from somewhere else. Some frozen eggs had actually come from somewhere else and landed on Earth. And these were like legitimate scientists who were contemplating it, not morons.
Right. So the octopus then was the creator or some egg from some octopus, right? Because ultimately we believe that life, was a slug, this ocean slug, this worm the worm from the vents, the heat vents and all this thing and some nutrients and bash. What is this? And what is this? Of course, there was just little tiny cells everywhere. They were just smashing against each other, just smashing, just dust relentlessly, smashing against each other relentlessly. Oh, no, it's according to geochemistry because it was all engaging, but according to geometry, it was just. So what made what? Who knew? It was just some bash, right? Some light that just bashed, right? So what happened? Just as bash created all these just perfect shapes. It's like, oh, sacred geometry. Wow, all this smashed. What is this? What is this? No, exactly. Nobody wants to admit what this is. What they're living. Nobody wants to admit what they're living. They always talk about what they do or what they like to do, what they've done. And if they talk about the way they're living, wow, who knew? It's 99.999. It's dark, tragic, just victimhood to the 33rd degree, just like everyone else. But yet, there's image control. So you must relentlessly fear this and fear that, and cry this and cry that, and cry to be seen because of this and this and that and this. Wow, it's just, wow. Where's the cup? Where's the cup? Where's the ball? Where's the ball? Where's the table? Where's the table? Wow, flip it upside down and inward and smash the cups. And who knew the balls was a square? Who knew? Oh no. What? Oh, and then you applaud and say, wow, do it again. Oh, wow, you couldn't wait.
I don't think
Have you seen this?
No, I didn't. But I mean, I think it's unlikely. So panspermia doesn't have to be unlikely.
Right.
I mean, for example, you might see in the
It
other day
doesn't
we
have
found
to
an
be
earth rock.
unlikely. Right, what did he say? He couldn't wait. He couldn't wait. Because everything is possible, yet we're certain of the origins. But anything is possible, yet we know all things. Oh, but anything is possible, but we are you guessed, worshipful master that gets to tell you what it is. Wow. Wow. And life is just chemistry. Wow. Wow, please tell me more. Tell me more of how I'm just dust and hamburger meat just slapped on some bones that just chemistry themselves into being and just smashed. And just knew geometry relentlessly, and wow, it's just chemistry and bash. Who knew? So if it's just chemistry, why can't you just put a bunch of chemicals in some, smash and just make another one of you? No. You must defile the living, the flesh. Necromancy. But of course, who knew the defilement of the dead? Who knew? It's how we come to manipulate the living. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Oh, who knew? Oh, who knew? And now even the living. Oh, this person is bad, brain out. Okay, let's carve it open, and we'll bring in students and this, and observing this and this, so you can observe how it's still beating this and that. Wow, look, you smash here, smash, keep them alive. We're breathing, breathing. It doesn't matter. They donate their body to science now. Just cut them open, sever this. Oh, just tie that back together. Okay, yeah, stop the bleeding. Just wipe the blood off your face. It's okay. Don't worry. It happens multiple times. Just relax. And of course, somebody passes out this, the other. No, no, no. Okay, of course, you must be surgeons, precision. Yes, it's smashed. It's just relentlessly, just worship of some pride, a boaster.
Rock on the moon.
Yes.
Right. Well, it was back
Yeah.
on Earth now because the Apollo
Right.
astronauts brought it back, didn't they? It's 4 billion years old or something like
One
that.
of the oldest rocks ever. Right.
So we know that material gets transferred between planets, and so it's not inconceivable that
Oh, so we know all this just by studying the light, and we know distances and what things are made of just by studying the light, and we know this and that just by studying the light, and we know this and this and this and by studying the light. Oh, and just things on Earth, we do it by smashing it and looking inside it relentlessly and just saying, oh, this is what it is. This is what it is. And then say, oh, well, it just is, but it came to be. It came to be because it just all smashed together. Yes, it all smashed. It just came still and is yet still expanding, but you don't even notice it. But soon you're going to be giants because you're going to expand just like the universe. Oh, yes, the eternal consciousness. Wow, 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 the Hydra. Wow, who knew? Smashed. No. Who knew there's a worshipful Father who created all, who loveth his creation, the purpose, life everlasting? Who knew? Who knew? But no, it must be some bash rock and this transfer of planets and this and that, and it could be that, but who knows? All we know is Earth. Yes, all we know is Earth, but we know other things by just bash streams of ribbons of data and just study the light and just the refraction and the infra this and wow, the just the high frequency, low frequency this and just smash some waves and sine and curves and little things that say this and that. Wow, we know just amazing things. Could be multiple Earths according to the light. It says it. Wow. And the electron is something that comes in, goes away, and just who knows where it is. It's just theory of where you think it is, and it just all works out together perfectly. So you can smash and just create things, little things that you can burn and combust, and ultimately just light up your house and heat and just screens that glow, and that you can relentlessly swipe and get all your fecal matter just everywhere, and relentlessly just defile. And of course, it's just relentlessly just in your face, but you love it. You love it so much. You love it so much. You love the image. You love the image of that which you live in. Yeah, sure, it's a little rough, but you get your fill. You do it your way. It's amazing. You can just do whatever you bash you want. And get mad when you have your opinions, things that this, and yeah, I'll join clubs and this, and societies and community groups and go smash it infinitely. Because, oh, it's just so horrible. There's no funding and no money. There's no money. Oh, who knew? You know who knows?
microbes could.
Again, this thing right here. Who knew? This thing right here. But no money. There's just no money. So, guys, just go out and spend more and make more money. That's how you do it. Yes, go spend more, buy more things, and, keep it running. Just make more money. Yeah! yeah, smashed. It's all some pony. It's a trick pony that relentlessly defileth. So that it's wow, it's the greatest mule stallion somehow. Oh, it's a hybrid. If it's a hybrid, it's the best thing. Just what? Oh no, it's some galactic thing. What? Oh no, it's some lost civilization. What? Oh no, it's could be different timelines. What? Oh, it could be a seeded cell in the image of some living being of some sort that just smashes. No, all just relentless, just fantasies. Oh, all because of uncertainty. The abyss defileth, but yes, you love it.
Survive that journey. Right? We know that microbes can survive in space, for example. So that isn't mad.
You
It's
mean microbes could survive at high altitudes? Is that what you're saying? In the sense of going up and up and up, and then you say, "Wow, they survive." Oh no, there's no altitude, there's no upside down, there's nothing. It's just there's no direction. It's in space. No, there's nothing. Smashed. What are you saying?
It's
Right.
probably unlikely, but it's not mad. But with the octopus, I hadn't heard that. But the thing is that the octopus is still extremely similar biologically to us. I mean, the differences are negligible.
Yeah.
So it's still
I
got
mean, it's negligible because they're probably like 97% just genetically genomic. Their genome, sequence or this powered is not, 97. And chips are 98 or some bash. Of course, what is it all saying? Nothing. He's like, whoa, it's just life is, and it's so close. It's almost like has one source. But no, it's just biodiversity. This just makes us, it's just arrived and just it's just so amazing. But no, they found this thing and it had some alien blood in it, alien DNA. What? Why would aliens have DNA? Oh, because it's the structure of life. What? Life in your bash brain somewhere else doesn't mean the same bash. Oh no, it has to because it's true here on Earth, right? Exactly. To you, and that's where the confusion it comes in now. You're gonna say, well, we thought this, but no. Oh, who knew? Who knew that perhaps it's just gonna be some light, some orb of light, and then you're gonna say, oh, it's learning. We're learning from it, and then they're gonna tell you, well, thus far it's Stephen Hawking. It's gonna be Stephen Hawking. It's gonna be hooked up to some screen, and it's gonna be telling you stuff that you have to we've learned from it, and we have the technology to decipher what it says, and this is what it says. Smashed. Oh no, it has to tell us ourselves. Okay, it has this. Well, it's just gonna blast you. Blast you with what? Who knows? What they're already blasting you with. Meaning us. It's us. We're doing it to ourselves. We're abusers of ourselves and others. Who knew? All because we worship the image we're in. In the sense of, yes, who knew it was 1,000 points of bashwood? You're all living your own image. Doing as I will. Who knew? Who knew that is the relentless worship of light? Who knew? And the false rewards it gives us, the false promise. Who knew?
same energy system with things like ATP and DNA and all that stuff. It's all very, very similar.
It was something about RNA and DNA. Did you find that article?
I'm looking at a different one from
So
a different website. It's about the same thing. It has to do with the Cambrian explosion, and there were 33 authors on a paper that got published in the Progress in Biophysics and Molecular Biology.
So this guy's
They
just
talked about
throwing
this
out just things,
possibility.
titles
There
of,
are other
oh, this is started with this to this, just wordsmithing you, tickling you.
people that disagree with it, though.
Right.
I mean, I suppose I haven't seen it. So I think it's unlikely because the octopus is extremely similar to us. So that suggests a common origin to me. That I suppose the counter argument you could
Okay, I think he's saying this because it's all gonna come down to this: a common ancestor. It has to be, because it can't be like, oh, it can't be too similar like us, because then it will just be, what? It was an octopus? Oh, weak. Or like, wow, they're telling you it's Medusa. It shapeshifts. Who knew? What you worship. So it could be anything. And it's just temperature checking. Oh, you like it? You really think it's this? Is it? Okay, let's go with it. Because obviously it serves the same agenda. It's in the end it serves the same, because either it's this or that and there, but it's all being pushed because it's Groundhog Day. It has to be written in the script, in the image of man, before it's even allowed. That's why you relentlessly beg and beg for more money and more policies that give you more and more. What is this? Because you're paralyzed. You've forgotten how to live. And that's why it's such a relentless struggle, suffering, to just convince others to give you money so that you can just disperse and distribute relentlessly to those that you think are worthy of somehow. And cry out for the children. It's always for the children, because the world always will, yes, relentlessly use the children openly, but wow, defileth relentlessly in the dark. Wow, who knew? And who knew that these children are just sitting ducks because of the parents, who most of them are just defiled, and will defile as they were defiled, and keep Groundhog Day relentlessly happening.
advance would be there's only one way to do life. So you could say that actually,
right.
given, because the laws of physics and chemistry.
Oh,
are the
so
same
he's
everywhere.
just trying to bash you with, yeah. He's trying to say, well, it could, if you say something that's like octopus, it means it had a similar, it has DNA. He won't say it, but that's what he's suggesting. Oh, it's just light. It's gonna be some light being. Yes, some light being. It's just light because we are light, but we're in what we call flesh, hamburger meat chemistry. We call it biochemistry, but no, they're shapeshifters in light. Wow, yes. Smashed.
So maybe DNA is the only way to do it. So that's the way it gets done.
Which
So
is
you-
why they're so similar to us.
Yeah, so
Although so alien as well.
Yeah, they're not though. That's the thing about an octopus. That's why I'm surprised about it, because they're not that alien. They're very similar.
Well, they're in their abilities. I mean, their ability to transform their.
Right, so he's like, well, just because they're just slimy and squiggly and this, and they have suction cups and this, and egg tentacles and this and that and whatever bash. They have to be different. Right? Oh, the image that smashes me has shapeshifted me into believing certain things. Wow, who knew images just smash you and just, end up just bashing you. So, wow, who knew? What do you live exactly? What do you live? Who giveth a bash? What images you're blasted with? What do you live? What are you living? And what do you worship? What do you worship? If not the love of the Father, which is, ever loving, indiscriminate. If not that, then it's defilement. But no, you won't say.
Their outer texture and their color almost instantaneously.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they have incredible camouflage abilities that really don't exist
Yeah.
in the mammalian world.
yeah. But on cell,
So
you
it has
you
to
look at
be
an octopus
alien.
cell under a microscope, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Right.
between an octopus cell and a human
So
cell.
the
So the
little
only
tiny,
way that
teeny,
would make
teeny
sense
little
is if
things
all
tell us
life
different.
comes from basically the same kind of
Or
building
tell us
blocks and just
wrong.
varies depending upon the conditions. And
So now they're having a false argument because who gives a bash? Or discussion. No, they're just bashing with like, oh, who knew? They're just bashing you, softballing you the notion of DNA and, well, who knew? Who knew it's just about shape shifting? Who knew?
where it takes place.
I'm guessing, but
Right.
yes, that must be the only way you could sustain that, given that they're so similar to us, because they really are, biochemically, is that's the only way it can be done, given the building block, the toolkit, the laws of nature, and the elements and so on that we have in our universe.
We have so many different life forms on our planet, but if we found anything,
Or here's the other one, where it's just gonna look exactly like us, or a little different, a little hybridized. They were able to manipulate the development of the human flesh in such a way that okay, it looks alien somehow, but human enough that it's so powerful. You're just like us, but somehow different. Wow, who knew? Who knew? No one. Who knew? So what's going on? What is going on? What is going on? Because that's the I mean, one is like, oh, the shape shifting light, or the wow, who knew? The humanoid, because it's the building blocks of life that, well, yeah, who knew? It had to look like us, because who knew? And then it'd just be so easy. It's just like, oh man, that makeup is just it's just a bash each day, or who knew? It's just like, yeah, just hybrids. Who knew? Necromancy would just be, wow, who knew? And it's just amazing what you can just shapeshift into believing by virtually abusing relentlessly. Created image upon image to worship and say, this is life and this is what you should behave like, live. This is what you should do in response to what you say, what you have to endure and survive according to the manipulations we put upon you. Yes. Because no, you're too bad. You're a bash ape and you can't be left alone to live on your own. No, you'll just savagely consume each other and ravage and rape and kill. All true if you're talking about people that believe themselves void of the love of the Father, believe themselves void of any truth, and believe themselves void of any way, because it's their way, their love, and their life. Smashed. So of course, who knew that the ritual of the ways of the world, the defilement of the deceived, corrupted image of life that man executes into the so-called repetitive bashing day in, day out. And who knew that that was the same as in the days of Noah, as in described and written, according to who you say? Well, it's a story. But the story of what? How wisdom just continued has defiled generation upon generation. And who knew there'd be a generation when those who worship the love of the Father and the way and the life and the truth and to live that every day, regardless of what the world might smash you into doing or living, ritualizing you in some other way. No. Why? Because you know the way, you know the truth. And fine. If they smash it you, wow. Do you fight back and say, wow, come take it from us, we'll smash you back? Well, do you? Because the end is ruthless. The fury of the world is ruthless, ice cold. Who knew? Who knew? and who knew the flesh perishes, yet life everlasting goes forever and ever, goes as it cameth into being by the holiest of holiest, King of kings, the beginning and the end. Through his creation is resolved to see doubt once and for all, and return to the true promise. Abandon the false promise of smashhood and bashhood, relentlessly believing in just some false notion of what it is that you will associate to. Wow, it's all just fantasy. Because what are you living exactly? It's all just hydras that snap and defile with their savage teeth. Thieve your life.
Thing that's remotely similar to what we have here on Earth on another planet, it would be such an incredible discovery. Like if we found a frog on the moon, I mean, the world would stop, right?
I'd be very surprised if we
Right,
found a
of course.
frog on the moon.
But I mean, if we found anything anywhere that is in any way similar, an insect on Mars.
Well, this is, I mean, as I say, it'd be micro. I think it'd be single-celled things. Remember, I mean, you mentioned the Cambrian
Right.
explosion.
I mean, it would be this because, well, you know, the light tells us that it has these forms and this and these elements and this. So, well, going to Earth, you need something, other conditions and this for any sense of life that we call, because evolution here on Earth supposedly is started from a cell. So that's the best we could shoot for, is finding some cell, because the cell, then from the cell you can infer evolution as we know it. But no, it's just undershooting. He's just go for the cell. Yeah, go for the cell. It's your best bet.
So that
It's-
is what we do know about Earth is that although life began, let's say, 3.8 billion years ago, it wasn't until around 600 million years ago or so, that, or maybe at most 700, that you see any complex multicellular organisms at all. So for something like 3
Wow, so
billion
many
years,
past
it's
years.
single-celled alone. And that's one of the reasons why I would guess, if I had to guess, I would say that microbes would
Exactly.
be common.
Guess. It's all
because
guesses.
Life began very quickly on Earth, and I wouldn't be surprised if we find it on Mars. But
Microbes.
complex life, multicellular life, insects, plants, intelligence, I would guess would be very rare.
Oh, intelligence! Plants and insects are intelligent. Wow, who knew? No, it was just some bash, right? Some bash light that created you. So what are you saying? What are you saying?
Because it took so long on Earth to get there. And it was just slime. Like
Right.
3
It took so long. It was just slime.
billion years of slime.
3 billion.
That-
They're
that was it.
laughing. It's just hilarious to them because, yes. And they stopped it there because they just couldn't stop laughing. Amazing. Smashed, bro.